Hey, what's up y'all? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing a whole bunch of plants I imported from a company called Ecuagenera. Hopefully you've heard of it, but yeah, I'm excited. Ignore the episode of Real Housewives of New York City in the background. Okay, let's get started. So the very first plant that I am unwrapping is the ANTHURIUM crystallinum. I'm really excited about this one because I actually used to have an ANTHURIUM crystallinum in my collection, but over time it just got really yellow and I just wasn't really able to take care of it because I really just didn't have the proper equipment or just the right things to give it the proper care that it needs. So I ended up selling it, getting some money, and buying different plants. So I am so excited to have this back in my collection. I'm not sure if you could tell, but I just couldn't stop looking at it. This is actually a really big ANTHURIUM crystallinum, if you could tell. So yeah, very impressed by it. This next plant is called the ANTHURIUM FORGETII white stripe. It's obviously a lot different than the actual, or the normal ANTHURIUM FORGETII rather, because of the silver venation. It's really cool, it's really pretty. I thought it was interesting that some of the leaves were really tiny, but then there was also some larger leaves, as you can tell. So I'm really excited to have this one. I've never had an ANTHURIUM FORGETII in my collection ever. So I'm really excited about it, and it looks really good. Next up is the Philodendron MAMEI, and this one surprisingly shipped okay. I've just heard a lot about philodendron mameis and other types of philodendron from Ecuagenera not shipping so well. The leaf I'm holding right now is actually a little yellow. I can't really tell, but it's actually not that great, but the other leaf looks perfect. Yeah, so I'm not mad about it. Lastly, we have the ANTHURIUM VILLENAORUM. This one's a funky looking one. I've definitely never owned anything like this before, so it's pretty cool. This one is shipped in really good condition. The leaves are pretty hardy and not succulent, but like you can just tell that they're really strong, I guess is the best way to put it. It came with 4 leaves, which is really cool as well. And yeah, I'm just excited to see how this one's gonna grow. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the roots of each individual plant. For the most part, all of the roots came in pretty good, pretty healthy looking. My MAMEI here, as you can see, I eventually had to chop all these roots off because they're so mucky and clearly rotting, but more on that in my update video, which I will be uploading shortly. So now I'm going to show you how I start my acclimation process. So I start off by deeply and thoroughly cleaning off all of the leaves and the petioles and the roots of each individual plant. I'm just using a whole bunch of plastic containers to do this. I could do this in the sink or the bathtub, but yeah, just didn't want to. So the only thing I'm using is just lukewarm water and a little bit of Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. That really does the trick for me. You can really use any type of soap, I guess, that you have, but I just highly recommend using something that's not so harsh, such as Dr. Bronner's. But this is, again, just a preliminary sort of wipe down, making sure the plant doesn't have any pests, making sure that any dust or dirt or oils are being removed from the plant. So yeah, that's my first step. Now that all of the plants have received their preliminary wash, I'm now going to be using an organic insecticidal soap mix that I actually just Googled the mix actually, but it works amazingly well to help as more of a preventative measure to make sure that the plants are going to be pest free in the future. So I just go to town with that and spray every inch and crevice of each plant to make sure that these plants are protected against pests. Okay, now I'm just going to be doing one final rinse just to cleanse the plants off of any residue that might be left over from the organic spray that I used or from the Dr. Bronner soap that I used. Just as like, one last measure. Oh, that's a new leaf, by the way, that's coming in on the clarinervium there. Oh, sorry, crystallinum, not clarinervium. Yeah, so just a final cleanse to make sure that the plants are good to go for acclimation. Okay, really quick, I just want to give you guys a quick update on a few other plants that I imported from Ecuagenera not too long ago. I never filmed a video on it, so I just wanted to show you guys a few other plants that I got. They're actually two anthuriums. This first one I'm showing you is an Anthurium regale. And the next one that I have for you is an Anthurium Warocqueanum, or Queen Anthurium for short. Both of these imported so well. Both of them have amazing roots, very hardy leaves. I actually did end up having to chop off just a few roots on this queen, as well as on the regale. And I cleaned off the chunks a little bit. So they're actually doing quite well. It's been about a week, and so now that they've been in water for a week, it's about time to repot them. I'm going to be repotting them in sphagnum moss. Actually, it's a mix of sphagnum moss and perlite, and I think that using both mediums is going to be good because the plant, although Anthuriums love to be in a moist environment, I'm pretty sure they also love to be in a chunky and light and airy environment as well. And because they're not quite ready to go into any type of soil, that's why I've decided to use a mix of sphagnum moss and perlite. I just sort of eyeball it. I don't really measure it out. I never really do that anymore now that I'm more experienced with houseplants. So yeah, just kind of going for it and gonna give them a new home so they can fully acclimate. I also plan on doing this with all of my other imports as well, but first they're gonna spend about a week or so in water just so that they can hydrate and sort of relax from their long journey to me. Okay, so I do realize that I left a huge part of the chunk out of the sphagnum moss on accident, and just so you guys know, that's actually not good for your Anthurium because that can dry out your plant a lot faster. And by dry out, I mean like the roots. It'll dry out the roots. So I actually went back off camera and just put a little bit more sphagnum moss on top to cover the entire stem. And there you have it. Those are all of my import plants that I imported from Ecuagenera. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned a little bit about the acclimation process. This process can look different for different people. This is just a general idea of what to do in case you were curious, and how I personally take care of my import plants. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's all up to you. But I hope you did find this video informative in some way. And yeah, feel free to like and subscribe for more planty content.